Over 2,000 years ago, an Athenian man named Epicurus saw another way to live. The problem? In his eyes, people were swept up in the pressures of daily life, slaves to ambition, and suffering unnecessarily for it. He opened the garden outside of Athens, part school, part refuge, a place to discuss life's biggest questions and enjoy its simplest pleasures. Now let's skip forward a couple thousand years and see how things have changed. We all know the opening to Stardew Valley by now. A bleak, desperate existence inside of a 4x4 gray cube. Less of a workspace, and more of a premature coffin. You don't have to have worked in that exact scenario to feel the invisible yoke around your neck. The feeling is one of exhaustion, tinged with a sort of grief. A feeling that it isn't supposed to be like this. That's when we open the desk. It's time to read Grandpa's letter. Inside the letter is the answer to all of our problems. The deed to a farm outside of Pelican Town in Stardew Valley. The promise is clear, and more intoxicating now than ever before. A slower, more natural life, with farm-grown food, honest work, and good company. The relief is real, but there's something that the letter doesn't warn you about. And the truth is, you may not be ready to receive this gift after all. I have a lot of hours in Stardew Valley, and I had one farm that was beyond the rest, but it was still a long way from perfection. My ginger island was nearly maxed out with year-round ancient fruit. I had 2 full keg sheds for processing, 1 shed full of crystallariums for utility, and even the return scepter. Not to mention my 2 barns full of pigs for guaranteed iridium truffles. In short, I had enough money to do basically whatever I wanted, but I couldn't find the motivation to actually follow through with getting perfection. It was around then that my daughter, 8 years old at the time, began joining me in co-op. I'm always happy to play games with her, but co-op presented a problem. Here's an example. In single player, in-game time pauses while fishing. In co-op, the clock keeps moving the whole time you're fighting that fish, which to me tanked my productivity just by clicking Begin Local Co-op. After all, if it's not optimal, it's a waste of time, right? Over the next few months, we chipped away at the perfection tracker, but it was clear that perfection wasn't my daughter's main priority. While I was looking at how far we needed to sleep for the casino quest beets to grow, she was checking the calendar for the next birthday. While I was trying to optimize the hours in my day, she was asking to play tag on horseback. In the end, we did both. We gifted every villager to max hearts, crafted every item, and did every quest, but we also played tag, took our time, and made sure to hit all the festivals. It was a really special time with her, and when I look back on it now, I realize that what I thought was slowing me down was the only thing that kept me coming back. That brings us to the present, to Peaceful Farm. My goal with this farm was simple, to enjoy it. My only rules were this. 1, if I wasn't having fun, I wasn't doing it. And 2, it has to look nice. No more filling my house with cheese machines or lining the bus stop with kegs. Here's how it went. I decided to start on the Meadowlands farm for a few reasons. I've started Meadowlands before, but never really stuck with them, and I suspect I know why that is now. I also thought that having animals from the start might provide a nice rhythm and structure to my day. Day 1, I got to meet my 2 chickens, Tiny and Shrimp. I made sure they got to go outside for some blue grass, and did what I always do day 1, clear the area immediately around my house and in the coop area, and then go meet some people. Here was my first deviation from the norm. Usually, I feel compelled to try to meet everyone on day 1, and I never manage it. It's like I forget half the villagers exist until it's time to track them all down. So this time, rather than running from one to the next skipping dialogue boxes, I just talked to who I ran into and made an effort to read their dialogue. I decided this would be another rule. On day 2, I got the fishing rod and did some beach fishing, but didn't push too hard for any particular goals. Now, day 3 is where I test my whole strategy because catfish. I had grown to hate that it even rains on day 3 because I felt obligated to stand on the shores of the Cindersap Forest River attempting catfish all day. If I was really starting life over on a farm, fresh off the heels of a crushing corporate job, I would probably spend day 3 sleeping by the fire. But this is still a game, so I settled for clearing the rest of the area I wanted to on the farm and making a nice wide path to the south of my farm. On day 4, I cleared some more rocks and found my first geode. I walked all the way to town before realizing I had left it at home. After my walk of shame, no speed buff by the way, I visited Clint and popped it open, then donated the mineral to the museum. On day 5, I hit the mines, and I had it in my mind from floor 1 that I wanted to go for an early insect head weapon from the Bug Slayer goal, since I've never used it. I made sure to take out as many bugs as possible while making it down as far as I could. Another thing that feels like an admission of guilt. I can never remember the requirements to trigger the community center unlock cutscene. I knew it should have happened already, or I thought so, and I knew it had to be sunny, but I decided not to look it up this time, and just let it happen naturally, which didn't happen until day 6, and that was fine. The next day, I went to see Rasmodius, and watched his cutscene for the first time in a long time. I had forgotten how funny it was. After doing a little forage and completing my spring foraging bundle, I decided to sell the spring seeds you get as a reward, and I went ahead and pulled the trigger on the backpack upgrade. I've never bought it this early, but I was feeling the inventory squeeze. After that, it was already 1 PM, but I decided I felt like grinding out some more bugs towards the insect head, so I headed to the mines. Despite the late start, I easily filled my new backpack space with all manner of loot. My floor 19 was a spiral floor, and despite the game giving me 4 staircases, I kept going until every last bug on the floor was dead. I ended week 1 with level 20 in the mines, 900 gold in my pocket, and a giant backpack. I decided specifically to end the video here. I went back and forth a bit, and I could have completed the community center or met some other arbitrary goal, but that kind of defeats the purpose of this little experiment. All things considered, this wasn't the first week I usually aim for, and it certainly wasn't optimal, but it reaffirmed something I'd begun to suspect while grinding away on that old optimized farm. Grandpa's letter invited me to the valley, but I still had to choose to leave the cubicle behind.